Welcome to the weekly share of the Sarah Shimshon. A little bit late, but nevertheless, I try to fulfill my duties as much as possible. It is now the eighth night of Chanukah in Eretz Yisrael. It's Beis Tevis, and it's a very special night because of the 8 days of Chanukah. And Rabbi Avitan says that it's very big minhag or segula to mevatel all kinds of gezeros and to pray for Yeshuas. And last night was Rabbi Meir Balanes's yahrzeit, and he had the opportunity. You could still give the some money to Rabbi Meir Balanes. They do a lot of good, and they learn all the time. And he's been a help for many, many people. Okay, anyway, as a segula, that is the 8th night of Hanukkah, and we're supposed to be happy and celebrate. So let's go on. I have a short piece here about Hanukkah. So let's talk about Hanukkah since it's still Hanukkah. And it's Pirsumei Is Nisa Adif Lan Le'Akdami. So we're going to talk about Pirsumei Nisa since it's Hanukkah, the spreading the miracle of Hanukkah. And according to the emes, which means a Kabbalah, right? Inyan Chanukah is korev the Inyan Mechiras Yosef. It's very close to be attached to Mechiras Yosef, and that's why Parshas Miketz always falls in Chanukah. And according to the Megala Amukais, Zecher Hashem Yinkam Dama Zecher Tzaddik V'Kodesh Avracha Big Mekobo. He says, then in the days of Yavan, it was renewed the sin of selling Yosef, And that's what it means. Zelki Antiochus is the gematria of Yosef, believe it or not. I'll let you add it up, okay? V'chein Melech Yavan is also, surprisingly, the gematria of Yosef. Yosef is very simple. It's 80 and 60 is 140, and 10 is 150, and Vav is 6, 156. Okay? L'chein hayu roitzim sheyichtavu al keren hashor she'ein lahem chelik b'elokei Yisrael. That's why they wanted the Jewish people to write on the horns of the shore. And who's the shore? The Hadar shore, Hadar Martin. And that was the reference to the bracha of Yosef. Okay. Az hayo b'shnas reishud gimel binyan b'ayis sheni. That was actually in the 213th year of the second Beis Hamikdash. And that's what is hinted to the Ramaz. The Lavan hinted to Yaakov when he said, "B'yagar sadusa." When he made the mound to remember that they had a covenant, between Lavan and Yaakov. He called it Yagar Sahaduta, and then Yagar is the gematria of Reish Yud Gimel. Surprisingly, okay. Now we'll see further on that what that means. The reason was Dafka that year, Reish Yud Gimel, in the second Beis Hamikdash, he says, Yesh Lamer the Isa B'Zor, it's brought in the Zohar in Parshas Vayeshev, and he says, Shagalus Mitzrayim Haya Be'avay Mechiras Yosef, that the Galus Mitzrayim was because of the sin of selling Yosef. And furthermore, it's brought in the Yalkut, he says, Kishiyotzu Yisrael Mitzrayim, when the Jews went out of Egypt, Nasana Lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaShabbos. God gave them in Morah, the first thing he gave them was some mitzvahs, one of them was Shabbos, which is the midah of Yosef, Shechaper al Chatasam, that they had a kapara for their sin. Kishaloi Amru, and if you remember, the Gemara says, Yar Hayam, the Yar has, they seized the sea split because it saw the Aron of Yosef. Why? Because Yosef was able to control his Yetzer Hara. Okay. Anyway, that was Misakin, the Midah of Yisoid in the Kabbalah. Yisoid is fundamental. Okay, so he says they didn't keep Shabbos. Hevesim Shari Yerushalayim. They were brought to the gates of Jerusalem. Nigzar Aleim Galus Bavel. They were made decreed on them the Galus Bavel in the first temple. And then this sin of Yosef would aroused in the second temple because of this sinas chinam that they had between them, the unfounded hatred. They're similar to the Shvatim. They hated Yosef. They hated him for what? For what? They had some reasons, but okay, it was not sinas chinam specifically, but they did hate him. According to my reasoning, he says, the Zera Shimshon, that all started in the year 213 to the second temple. Riv, the word riv is reish yud base. It's also meriva. Riv is meriva, arguments. It says in Shmos, al riv b'nei Yisrael. For riv is begematria, reish yud base. Of course, same 212. And in the year of 213, Dafka, Antiochus came on them. The Gazer Levatel Mehim, what did he use? Mevatel, Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Mila. Okay. Mipnei Shekol Eila Shloisha Mitzvahs Hayu Mechaprim Al Mechiras Yosef. All those three mitzvahs had to make a kapora, were there to make a kapora for the sin of selling Yosef. Shabbos is like we said, it's the aside. And Rosh Chodesh Makrivim by Seir, they brought the korban Seir, which they tried to cover up the death of Yosef with the Seir. And it's brought in the Zohar and Parshas Pinchas, Shehu Keneged Yosef. Ve'efshe Shehu Lechaper Al Seir Izim Sheshachtu B'Mechirasa. That's probably the kapora for what they sold Yosef, and they covered it up. They tried to cover up his death with shechting a goat. Ve'af Hashanim Shaloi Chatu Me'evim Al Chaitim. Even the years, I skipped one line. Vehim Yud Beis Chadashim, of course. B'Shana Keneged Yud Beis Shvatim. When there's every year they bring 12 korbanos from the Seyim, and that's connected Yud Beis Shvatim. And even in the years where they didn't sin, Av Shaloi Chatu Me'evim Al Chaitim. And they bring it for the sinners. Kedematzina b'Hayrias in Perak Aleph, in the first daf, it's daf Hey Omed Aleph, and b'Par Helam Davar Shal Tzibor, Lefamim Heim Yud Gimel Chadashim. Sometimes it's 13 months when it's an Iber Yar, so it's Keneged Menashe and Ephraim. V'Amila Shazuhi Midas Yosef is the Bris Mila, which is the Dafka Yosef. The Raya is Shekolkach Torach b'Mitzrayim Kadesh Afa Mitzrayim Yum Nimaylim. Okay, and it's known, it's brought in the Menorah Sama'or, that all the mitzvahs ein bohem rak shleisha kigain shahayu oisyos tefillin Shabbos and Mila. There's only three that have oisyos, or they call it ice. That is, it's tefillin, Shabbos, and Mila. So that's why we only need two oisos on Shabbos. You need Shabbos and Bris Mila. On the weekday we need Tefillin and Bris Mila. So we always have two oisos. Hainu Shabbos and Mila. And it says in Devorim, Api Shnayim Eidim Yakum Davar. By two witnesses, which is these two witnesses, we have established ourselves. When Kimaysa Chol, they have Tefillin and Mila. And when they're mevatel, when they were mevatel, or the Antiochus was mevatel Shabbos and Mila, so only the Jews had tefillin as one ois, and one eid achad ein mayil klum, one witness or one ois doesn't help anything. L'chein, and you can't even wear tefillin on Shabbos. L'chein kishebat lo mehem Ela mitzvah Yisrael Reitzim Sheyichtav Al Keren Ashor Ein Lachem Chelik Be'Elokei Yisrael. So that's why they wanted to write Dafka in Keneged Yosef, that they on his horn, quote unquote, that you don't have a portion in the God of Israel. As Gavra Yodam Al Yisrael V'Tiknu HaPagam. So they overcome, they become strong, the hand of the Jewish people, and they fixed the Pagam, and they lit Hidliko Neres Renasa Nes V'Shemen, and they lit the candles in the Beis HaMikdash, and they made a total miracle with the oil, so that there would be, from the darkness, there would be light, the darkness of the Yavanim, of the Greeks. Sha'ira is begematria, when you believe it, Reish Yud Beis, 212. That's the remez, Shetiknu Masha Pagmo Beminyan Reish Yud Beis, that they made a takana, they made a fixing of what they made a mistake with the sale of Yosef, and they were constantly making this same mistake over and over. Well, it's already my time to quit. I'm not going to tell you the skula is to say special tehillim and have in mind to ask for whatever you need and give a little tzedakah for Zeis Chanukah, and everybody had a Freiliche Chanukah, and may all Yeshuas and prayers and zivugim and refuahs and everybody be privileged to have Yeshuas v'nechamais. Zeis Chanukah.